On Friday, Raila Amolo Odinga, ODM leader, made a grand entry to Western Kenya and stopped in Kakamega. This was monumental because there has been debate and talk. People have argued that Kakamega and Western in general has slipped out of Raila's hands, that is no longer in control of the Luhya vote. And in fact, some people dared him to set foot in Western. Not only did he set foot in Western, he went to the heart of Western, the heart of the Mlembe, the headquarters, which is Kakamega. And the reception was wonderful. Now, when I watched on television, and so one of the people who are most vocal in talking ill about Raila, actually warning him not to go to Western, to leave the Luhyas alone, urging Mudavadi on, Senator Cleo Malala. After the event, he was looking like an orphan in some corner with a handful of people, doing a feeble post-mortem of what had gone on. I sympathize with this young man. I almost felt sympathy for myself as a Luhya. He looks so helpless, so pitiable, in some irrelevant corner. So this gets me thinking, and I've said this repeatedly. Are people like Mudavadi doing the community any good? Are they doing themselves any good? Because the fact is, Mudavadi's fortunes are intertwined with Raila Odinga. I have said it many times. I have said Mudavadi will do well to work with Raila Odinga. Not only are we neighbors, but our history has brought us together this far. So, if you look at what is happening, and I invite Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, I invite Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi to open their eyes, to see what is happening, and not to listen to people whose success can only come from hanging on the coattails of these two. When you listen and watch Senator Wambua from Kitui urging, actually compelling Kalonzo Musyoka to run, and saying if you go to Raila, you'll be there alone, and we will never forgive you. That the millions of voters from Ukambani and across the country, as if there are such a millions. When you hear Malala and Savula, the vigor with which they urge Mudavadi on, these are people who are fighting for their own survival. Savula and Malala want to be governor of Kakamega. They know if Mudavadi is a presidential candidate, Boni Khalwale stands no chance. Any other person stands no chance. It will be the ANC candidate. That's why they're urging Mudavadi on. Wambua, I understand, may want to be governor of Kitui. And you can see that's why he's urging on Kalonzo Musyoka. I invite these two to open their eyes, to listen to these people, but politely dismiss them. This election is set to be a contest between Raila Odinga, inshallah, and William Ruto, God willing, because everything we leave to God. So if you are not with these two, you are nowhere. Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi can only work with either of the two. Given the political dynamics in this country, given the history, given who they have been, it is inconceivable that Kalonzo may deputize William Ruto. And the Constitution makes it impossible for Ruto to deputize Kalonzo. Given the stature of Musalia Mudavadi, given how far he has gone in the political life of this country, it's also inconceivable that Mudavadi would deputize William Ruto. So it should be William Ruto deputizing Mudavadi. In fact, people would laugh it off if the two wanted to deputize William Ruto. Their stature is so high they cannot be running mate to William Ruto. So that leaves them with only one choice: to work with Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. That's the only choice they have. And they should stop listening to these busybodies, these young, misinformed politicians. They are good. I like young people. A country cannot be moving forward if you don't look around and see young people. That's why I'm excited when I see them. But then, they are not the kind of people you can rely on making serious decisions. That's one of the problems William Ruto is facing. He's surrounded by young people who will not carry any community's aspirations. The Kikuyu nation, the Kikuyu of Mau Mau, the Kikuyu that is the economic powerhouse, the Kikuyu who are people who know the sweetness of power, who have been in power 15 years of Kenyatta, 10 years of Kibaki, 10 or so years of Uhuru. Those Kikuyu are unlikely to listen to Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro. It's young people. So I'm urging these politicians, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, entertain the young men, buy them a drink, give them tea and mandazi, but then they have to tell them to walk away as you sit down with serious politicians like Raila Odinga and forge unity that will see this country move forward. And I've always told people like Musalia Mudavadi, working with Uhuru and Raila does not mean Raila has to be the presidential candidate. While you are inside there, you could put your case now that you are on the table. You could put your case once you are inside. You could argue convincingly so that the irresistible conclusion is that you are the candidate or Kalonzo Musyoka is the candidate. But when you are inside there, playing from outside is like boys who handle balls from outside the field when men are playing football. Small boys will be seen playing their small little balls, tennis ball and the rest. Eh? As the men are playing Shisero inside the field. You get inside the field, you could have a chance to score. But when you are away, when you are outside, how can you get a chance to score? Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, enter the field, play so well. Even if you had been fielded as number 6, we have seen number 5, Niva used to score. Murila, controller, used to score and used to be number 5. Murila, number 2 or 3, Niva. They used to go and score once in a while. You don't need to be number 9. We have seen in theater, people playing support roles, becoming the stars, sometimes through accident. Madam P is a good example. And the others also. Somebody is fielded because the main player is suddenly unwell or injured. And then you become the star. But you must be there. You must be. Even if you are not the one playing, you must be on the bench. But part of the team. Musalia Mudavadi, get inside and be part of the team. Kalonzo Musyoka, get inside. And I finish by saying this. 2022 is the turning point in Kenyan politics. There's going to be a generational change, 2022. And this generational change will usher in new thinking, new people, young people. But it's not just about age. Anybody in the current political dispensation, any of these politicians we have known, irrespective of their age, will be swept away by the new change that is coming in 2022 and beyond. So unless you'll be part of government, unless you are part of government that wins the day, if you are Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, you are part of government with Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, your relevance may go beyond 2022. But if you play outside, get some 200, 300, 500,000 votes and go home, maybe even force a runoff, between Raila and Ruto, or the other men I talked about, you will go home, it will be for good. You'll be forgotten, you'll be wiped out of the history of this country. Always remember that 2022 is a turning point, a point of generational change. The men and the women currently in the politics of this country who do not form government, now that BBI has been shelved and there will be no official opposition, the men and women who lose in elections at whatever level, whether you are trying for governor, senator, MP, if you lose next year and you have been part of the team, part of the suspects around, that will be your end political. They are new players. And therefore, looking at what happened in Kakamega, I am convinced it tells a story. And that Mudavadi must have seen for himself. Kalonzo, from wherever he was, must have now seen for himself. Raila is still a powerful politician, even in those areas. And therefore, open your eyes, do the right thing. Don't be swept away by history. Join the winning team. What Gideon Moise calls a sure deal.